Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another live session with the Hype Magazine. I'm your editor-in-chief, Jerry Dobie, and today, I have the distinct honor of having one of the young lions from the game by the name of David Correy. You may have met him on X Factor. You may have, if you're a soccer fan, he did the FIFA World Cup theme song, and that he got recruited by Coca-Cola. He has his own record label. It's Urban Factor Records, right?
Urban Rock Records, yes, sir.
Urban Rock Records. The man was born in Brazil, came to America at 1, was adopted by an American family, and has made history since. Recorded Wyclef, Aloe Black, Fat Joe, Bangladesh, one of the baddest producers ever in the name of music. So I really appreciate you taking the time with us today. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me, brother. It's a blessing and an honor, man.
All right. Look, we've been rocking with you 2019, ever since you came on board and really, made the splash. And everybody has an outlook on who David Correy is, either as a fan, maybe from the media or whatever, but from the inside looking out, who is David Correy?
Somebody that just has a hustle that has no limits, man. I really just try to excel in whatever I put my mind to, and for whatever reason, all the things that I've been through, man, I'm still here, and I feel like I'm just gotten so much better. It just feels like, as a professional athlete, you take a free throw so many times, man, you're just bound to just have things click more. And I feel like I challenged the X Factor David 8-9 years ago with the tenacity and God be the glory, the Benjamin Button. I just feel like everything is just, I had to go through what I was going through. And I just feel like I'm in such a rare zone right now. And I know that has a lot to do with my sobriety.
Okay. Well, you're an amazing talent. And people on the outside looking in just see the celebrity part and the fun and the parties. And a lot of times they don't look deeper and see that, celebrities are people too, have problems as well. The PTSD from being in the industry has its own level of PTSD.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I got one last question before we get into the real reason that we're talking. What was the defining moment, if there was a defining moment, that brought you to music?
The defining moment where I realized that's what I want.
Yeah, that's what you wanted to do. It was meant for you.
I think the start of it was when my dad built me my stage when I came home, and just to see the purity in it and how much joy it brought me. And I think when I got my shot on X Factor, and you tell your parents something as a kid for, hey, I'm gonna do this. I know I'm gonna do this, and just to keep believing in something that you put your all into every day and seeing this much result, if any. And it happened 26 years later and finally connect. I think it was that moment of just I did that. We did that. Thank you for never letting me off this path of I'm going to do this. And that's hard for anybody to believe something so far-fetched, the road less traveled is going to happen. The chances are so low, and to have that moment opportunity, never change, just keep going like it never happened it's a blessing.
Parents recognize greatness and they don't let you off the hook. And that's what makes champions and elite artists and personalities such as yourself. Rest in peace to your mom and pops.
I appreciate that, man.
So, like we were just touched on earlier, you've been a major advocate for mental health. We have a lot of sports stars talking about mental health, Simone Biles, Reagan Saunders, et cetera, but we don't get a lot of elite entertainers such as yourself that open up about, the mental struggles that they go through as they're navigating the maze that is the music business and life. And you recently, started talking about how you overcame alcohol abuse. Can you touch on that for us a little bit?
Yeah, and this is actually a really special interview for me because I'm actually, I was just talking to my wife about this, but I'm at the beach right now, and I'm at my beach house, and this is actually the first place that I ever came to America. from Brazil when I was adopted. So, and it's also the first time that I've got a chance to experience this place sober. So being here, like today, we're just literally just, just chopping it up. I was just like, babe, like I got so much running through my brain. Like I can't even see that far out into the ocean because it's like endless. That's how my brain is moving. And this is the first place that they brought me to. And I just have so many mixed emotions today. And this journey has been crazy. I tell people, imagine everything that you ever wanted, that you dreamt of, that takes years to get. And then you lose everything that you care about most, that money can't get back in seconds. Mm. That's a hard pill to swallow in your brain. And I was a perfect storm for destruction. I was adopted. I didn't have brothers or sisters, and I didn't have, I turned to an outlaw of like the mentality of I can do whatever I want, and that ego and that pain and that gaping wound wide open. I just kept putting Band-Aids on it with the alcohol, and can't put Band-Aids over gaping wounds, man. And one day I just said, hey man, you gotta stop fishing in these puddles. You're not getting anywhere. And I had attempted to go to rehab a few times and I failed. And I see the wedding ring on your finger too, my brother. Behind every great man is a greater woman. So I've been waiting to drop that on you. So, I mean, this woman did not give up on me in my darkest moments. She saw greatness when I couldn't see anything but the abyss. So it was, and this has been, you literally catch me in the middle of like this transformation, like I'm months in of being clean, and it's every day something, this like a spiritual awakening happens. I don't know what you believe in, but in the past 4 months, I have accomplished more in my personal life and the music side of it. Like, cause I don't even know what it's like to sing sober. This is all so new for me.
Wow.
That I can remember in my adult life, because it's been such a thing. Like, so every time she sees me, she's like, what are you thinking about? I was like, yo, everything that I put off every day, not being, I just didn't want to deal with any of my problems. But yeah, I've never performed in my adult life sober. It's recording, and it's just starting to be just the energy, like waking up every day with this new like tenacity. It's like I'm operating on a new frequency. It's beautiful. It was a scary plunge. It's not something, they always say like we don't want to change. Like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but I didn't want that to be the narrative. I realized at this point I have the ability to change what I'm, painting on my canvas, that I want to leave my legacy. Yeah. And honor my parents at the same time. And I wasn't doing that. And that was eat me alive.
Honor your parents, honor your wife who was stuck beside you.
100%.
Mentioned the wedding ring. I'm 20 years in with the same woman who's tolerated me. I'm a retired combat soldier. So she's been to war with me. She's gone through the rehab, the mental recovery, becoming human again. And I would assume, I've never been a large drinker or anything like that. Weed was my thing when I could do it,
Okay.
But I would assume that it's a similar transition back from being, a victim of alcohol to becoming human again. Talk to me about that transition.
Yeah, man, it was like I was drinking every bottle to get to the bottom. Like there was something new I was going to find every time. And all I did was dive deeper into the problem, and I never addressed it. And I think the clarity within my thoughts, the waking up with no hangover, everything, the vibration I feel when I do the things that I love, or just entering any type of situation, it's just such a deeper connection. There's no surface level to anything that I'm doing now. And that feels great, because everything that I thought, yeah, man, we got to catch a vibe, all that type of mentality, it doesn't even compare to what I'm on right now. Everything just feels so much more captivating and real. I think the only thing that's been the hardest thing is retraining my brain of like, we're creatures of habit. I'm so used to like, all right, do another take. And then everything is just mannerisms and just trying to outshake what I was used to. And that's 8 to 10 years of battling an addiction. I lost my mom when I was on my world tour. I called her, I recorded the last conversation, and me being raised by a hustler, I was in London and I was like, hey, Ma, like, I got to go to Asia tomorrow. She's like, no, I raised you, you have a voice, you have a message. You have to keep uplifting these people, David. That is your responsibility. I need you to go. And that's just how she was. And then fast forward 2 years later, I lost my dad Christmas Eve night around 9 o'clock. And yeah, I felt like an orphan all over again. So it just, and I've never really touched on this either, but I made some bad decisions, and those are major life decisions that I shouldn't have made as an adult. Yeah, I shouldn't have been making any decisions. And when you do the wrong thing with the wrong person, it doesn't necessarily create the result. And I'm very blessed that I have two beautiful kids, but there was just, certain things I shouldn't have entertained.
They've done that.
Yeah, you already see where I'm going with this, and I'm not here to talk bad on anybody, but it's just that wasn't, God doesn't make any mistakes or whatever you believe in, and that's the situation I'm in. But I almost feel like I had to go through all that to really test the man that I am, and it has birthed me to be such an unbreakable human being now, and giving that to other people, because sometimes you don't, they've said that, like, the right message, wrong messenger. Ever since I put that out there with that post, like, I am free, I looked at my wife. I will never forget where I was. I was like, I have to do this. There's that gap and blip in like 2015 to now where it's like, yo, he pops in and he pops out. And it's just, when you're battling addiction, we catch these little waves and pockets of where we're operating like this, and then we don't want to do anything, or you got to catch us when we do. And it was just, made some really bad decisions, and it's nothing that I can't, rewrite and overcome. But I think now the difference is, too, to answer your question, I know I'm giving you such long-winded answers. I just want everyone to feel everything that I'm saying. But you feel like you're playing catch up. Like when I wake up now, I'm waking up, I've always been early, but I'm 4:35 in the morning. I'm at the gym. I'm emailing. I'm writing songs. It just feels like I'm trying to make up for lost time. And I'm not mad at that, because the grind is just on a whole nother level. I mean, I'm watching my body transform from my skin to my physique. Just everything is just, I don't know. It's like, if it was going to happen, it had to happen now, or I don't think it would have happened anytime soon. I knew the day would come. I just didn't know when. You know what I mean?
When was the moment that the veil lifted for you and you really recognized and accepted responsibility for getting this deep?
Oh man, probably when we were in New Orleans, when I took my wife down there for her birthday. We had some of the worst arguments, and I knew they were my fault. And just seeing, I don't know, I was just like, yo, you're becoming a monster. Like, this person loves you. Do you enjoy? It's like, all your issues have nothing to do with her. And sometimes, unfortunately, when you're in situations, it be the one closest to you that sometimes becomes the unfortunate other side of your pain, which they don't deserve. And we got back, and I went to Atlanta after that, and I tried to sing the national anthem sober for the first time. I was so scared. And when I realized I couldn't do it, I did it. I was just like, I need help. Like, I cannot live my life like this. And we got back, and I was like, yo, I'm going to do whatever it takes. When I go in here, this is it. And the first time I went in there, I felt like I still had to get stuff out of my system that I didn't finish. So I owe this woman and her family everything. And my music has, I mean, it's just, I can't explain to you the engagement. My numbers are up double. I'm making even more, like, just everything is, like, my team is strong, like the unity within, I feel like I'm like resurrecting, and we were already strong, but it's just like, it took me. I needed to believe in the old David again, because when I was there, like, one of the main supervisors at the treatment center was like, they don't pay to see you get drunk. They pay to hear you sing. They want to hear you sing. And he was like, you weren't drinking when you were on X Factor. Do you realize that you had been grinding and you needed to do all those intricate steps to get to that level? But you weren't doing what you're doing now that you think you need.
Mm-hmm.
You got to lock back into what was.
Right.
And it's been tough, man. Every day is a journey. I'm not going to lie to you. But I remind myself how bad it was. And I don't ever want to go back to that person or that place ever again. And one sip is not worth it.
I feel you. It happens incrementally.
It does.
What people don't realize, it's not, oh, one day you decide you're going to pick up a fifth of Douce and get it in.
Yeah.
It's, oh, we're going to get lit tonight, and 1 or 2 drinks turns into 4 or 5 drinks, turns into a bottle. And it's an escalation. It's kind of like skin popping to go to mainline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's you know, a bad maybe way to say it. It's harsh.
I understand.
But that's the real. So now that you know, and you met yourself again.
Yeah.
You're meeting David again.
100%.
What is the most beautiful thing about David? You know, now that the monarch butterfly has come out of the cocoon, the veil has been lifted, and you're flying again.
Man, it feels great to be free and not living a lie anymore. That burden and that weight of just acting as if everything is okay, and finally being like, it's okay to ask for help instead of always being the one who bared the cape, so to speak. I feel so free. And that's why I was like, babe, I gotta write this, because I'm living a lie. And all the things that I think are fraudulent, I am being fraudulent right now. And I want to help people too. That's always been a main thing for me, man. Like, just my unorthodox story. And when I'm able to dig that deep, and you know, you never know who you're giving hope to that day to be like, you know, dang, if he can do it. And that's all I've ever wanted to project out there in the world. But this time when I did it, I didn't want to go back and have to keep on dealing with that ugly person in the mirror. Because people always be like, well, they don't know, D. No, but I know. And that eats me alive. And that's what was happening. But you're right about the increments, man. Like, it didn't just happen overnight. I drank recreationally like any normal person in college and high school. It wasn't until they died. And that was really that simple for me. Nothing was out of control in my life at that point. Yeah, so I'd say like 2012, after X-Factor, like 2014, 2013, man. Like, it just ate. I mean, that was it, man. Like, it's really just that. I've seen people lose themselves over way less. I'm talking about these people saved me from such a poverty-stricken place, and you know, I couldn't have been a baby in the crate and said I want that one and gotten better people. These people were my life. I lost my foundation.
So when you got mired down into the entertainment industry on a large scale and became a superstar, and everybody's in your ear and they're just throwing shit. I mean, excuse my language, but they're just throwing stuff at you, and you're just like, okay. And the next thing you know, you've lost control.
100%.
And then you go, wait a minute, I gave up control. I gave it up, and I can recapture it. It takes a lot of intestinal fortitude for a man to say, I screwed it up. I'm taking responsibility, and I'm taking my power back. And to hell with anybody who's not going to ride this train with me for my self-preservation. That's very strong. So I salute you, young lion.
I appreciate it.
You know what I mean? And trust me, you know, I'm an old head. I've been there, done that. We can always jump back on the Zoom, my dude, and I'll tell you some shit that I've been there. I'm 59, bro. I understand. I've watched it happen. I've tried to say, you know, my little piece, but people don't want to hear it. And when you're in the issue, you're not really listening, and everything's cloudy.
Exactly. That's what happened.
And you have to wake up yourself. Yeah.
100%. You know, the one thing I've learned, and I told my wife this, I was like, you could scream 1,000,000 times at a mountaintop. If I'm not ready and I'm so stuck and so far gone in the issue, I mean, now looking at things, it's like, yo, what were you thinking? It's so clear to me. It's so vivid. But, you know, when I was going to therapy and everything, they were like, your greatest unfortunate gift, David, is your ability to use pain to help others through your music. You know, and it's true. It's like that Jake Gyllenhaal scene in Southpaw. The harder I get hit, the more it almost like turns me on in a way of just carving out my niche within what I do to serve somebody else. Because when I leave this earth, what I'm doing with my music, I want to speak forever through me, through my spirit to others. That's all I ever really wanted. It's never been about fame or clout for me. It's really just to have those type of records that are impactful. That's why Michael Jackson, man, The Mirror and the Prince's Purple Rains are so powerful to me, and the Tupac's and Nipsey's mentality and brain and where he was and how progressive these people were and what they were trying to speak on and do for the community. That's what I've always wanted to aspire to be. And now the music train is jumping, man. I'm releasing a song every Tuesday, every week, and I'm working on my EP, My Road to Recovery, and I'm releasing that on my birthday, October 8th.
That's dope. Congratulations. You also got Body Language out. Sexy Bae. That's a dangerous damn song.
Yeah, man. It's the response on that has been crazy. I mean, I'm a huge fan of music, man. Like I have so many artists that I'm fans of. Like I go online once every day and just look for new artists. I don't care what genre it is. And same thing, man, you know, even when I was drinking and it wasn't a problem at that point, I'd always, at whatever city I was in, I was going to those $2 Tuesday hole in the wall spots to find the dopest band out there, just to catch that spirit of like the rawness, man. I never want to lose the rawness of who I am, because that's what keeps me hungry. I don't want to be polished. I want to keep it raw as much as I possibly can.
And that's what's garnered you millions of global fans, bro, is that real, you know, no auto-tune. This is David giving it to you from the gut, you know, from the diaphragm. Freaking powerful voice, master of timbre and intonation. I mean, you've got it all. You know,
I really appreciate that, man.
You know, I mean, that would be something, you know, Otis would have been really proud to hear your voice.
Oh, man, Otis Redding?
Yeah. He would have given you your props. I believe that he would have given you your props, because, you know, you got that soul, but you got that street soul. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that.
Mary's got that street soul. David's got that street soul. You feel me? And people are connecting with that. So continue doing you. Don't let anybody change you. I really appreciate your work. I love your work. And I'm not a sensitive dude, but Sexy Bae is a dangerous song. My wife, she's like, get away from me. I'm like, you don't understand. It's a love song. And I love you for 20 years, you know what I mean? So, but check it out. I want to know, since you mentioned that you used to travel city to city, giving everybody your ear, basically, are you still able to just like vibe out to music as a consumer, or do you find yourself analyzing all the time?
Nah, man, that's the crazy part. My wife always, I'm like a little kid. Like that's what keeps it so pure for me. If I have to overthink something, forget my language, I can't F with it, man. I can't, like, I don't, in the purity of like the artistic space that I want it to be perfect, yes, I push myself. But those days, man, where like today, I'm just walking down the beach and I'm just listening as a consumer. That's what makes it feel real again. My mom used to bring me to Tower Records when I was, yes.
Wow.
Let's take it back. Yeah, I had to bring it back to Tower Records. And, you know, I fell in love with music before I knew what a dollar was. And once I found out how corrupt the world is just to get a dollar, it's like we can become so old and bitter so fast if we dive so deep down the rabbit and wormhole of this weird 2022 world we're in. I understand what it is, but I never lose stray of my purity for what it is I love, because I genuinely believe music saved my life. I don't know if I would have ran to the streets. I don't know what I would have done, but it'd have been worse than that, just the alcoholism part, because that almost killed me. And at one point I was cool with that. But music always just, it dictates everything. It's like step parents, you know what I'm saying? That's what music is for me.
Okay. I promised you at the early on that I wouldn't keep you away from your family too long. If I could ask you like three additional questions, that would be amazing. Now that you're awake, now that the alarm clock has been thrown into the graveyard, the old David Correy is gone and resurrected, what is the most satisfying for you about making music?
That is a phenomenal question. that I know that this time when I do it, I'm feeling every emotion, and I pray that it touches people the way it should. Like, I'm not cheating anything. I thought I used to just was doing it and like, nah, I'm giving it them all. And this time I get a chance to feel everything. So I feel like it's coming across even more genuine to the consumer. And they're really feeling who I am.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what's the most fun about the creation process now?
Man, I'm being honest with you. I just told my wife, I was like, yo, I feel so giddy now. Like like my energy level for it is like, I don't know, man. I just believe what you want, man. But I feel like I'm just operating at a higher frequency. I'm hearing things I've never heard before with music. Wow. It's getting scary in a good way. You know what I mean?
This is going to be a blessing for music, though. My last official question is, without putting anybody on blast.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun. But what has been your funniest WTF moment that you've witnessed or experienced thus far in your career?
Funniest. This could be with anything, musically speaking.
Yeah, in life, just something to go like, wow, did that just happen?
Man, honestly, how I got the Coca-Cola deal, man.
Okay.
That was because it was such a random process. I was on my way to the beach where I'm at right now. And I've always told people, like, the best and greatest things have happened for me when I'm just living my life. And the thing about me, man, is I don't get ready. I stay ready.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying? So, yo, Irving Azoff from Live Nation called my phone and asked me if I knew who he was. I'm over here just about to go to the beach. And then he loops me in on another call. And then I get flown to LA. I pull up to his house and got about, I don't know, 12, 13 butlers, gold toilet. Like, just like, I'm just starting to see past this certain level,
right,
for them to, like, casually offer me with Coca-Cola, a nice bag. It just didn't feel surreal. And the way they went about it, I wasn't used to the industry on that level at that point yet. So there was that situation was a blessing, because I learned so much about the business on top of getting a chance to travel the world, that there were a lot of, the Coca-Cola tour was a beautiful thing, man. I think those were a lot of WTF moments in there for sure, just because I'm a newbie at that time with that level of what I'm operating on. Okay. And that's what propelled me. But I'm going to be honest with you, and I want to tell you something, man.
What's up?
Mr. Jerry, I made it happen twice in my career, right? I went to the Berkeleys. I did all the mixtape series with Tigger, the major features, but as an independent artist. I did all that prior to getting my shots with the X Factor, with the Coca-Cola, traveling the world. Those are huge historical moments. But what if it happens a third time sober? Another shot at the cannon to that mainstream world. That's what we're aiming for right now. And that's what's the conversations are happening again. Ever since I surrendered, whatever you believe in, I don't know how religious you are, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for God. But whatever anyone believes in, higher power, energy, whatever that is for you specifically, something great is about to happen. Mm-hmm. And this time the world is going to know David on the scale of true purity and true artistry that they deserve, and that I deserve to see for the first time, looking at heaven with a clear view.
I can assure you, I believe as you do. I've made it through 6 combat tours, and I'm here to tell the story. So I believe that, the divine power reaches down and gives you opportunities and lets you pull yourself up.
Yes. I like that.
Gives you the tools and resources that you need, and then gives you the awareness to pull yourself out of the muck and live your life and your divine purpose. I believe that your divine purpose is to change lives through music. I believe that you have done it on a different scale, but that sober, you will be magical. And I can assure you that you have a friend here at the Hype Magazine. I would love to continue to follow your story. I will support your music any way you can. Thank you for sharing a very important message and bringing so much value to this conversation. Let's push your upcoming project and a project you got out now. And then, of course, everybody can go to David Correy and find
Please.
on social media. You feel me?
Yeah, at David Correy on all social media platforms. My newest record that just dropped is Sexy Bay. Make sure you guys go get that, stream that, and look forward to releasing my new project so you guys can see my journey, my road to recovery, October 8th. And I love y'all, man. Thank you for anybody that didn't know my story prior. And if you're in the same situation or a dark place, just know it's never too late to get yourself out if you value your life. And I love y'all, man.
My man. David Correy, the Hype Magazine live sessions. Really enjoyed this young lion. Looking forward to wishing you much continued success. Appreciate the time. And we're out.